I lost it there. But if you push back on it, it kind of grabs right there and it keeps that OS bar down, right? So I'll pull this one down, do the same thing there, keep it down, and then, oh shit, no pun intended. What the, yo, I got two different elements in there close to me. I've got an 8mm on one side and I've got a regular standard bolt on this side. Standard, what the, who put this car together? Frankenstein?
It's alive! Oh, it's alive! It's alive! It's alive! It's alive!
What's going on YouTube? Dom here with another video. Welcome back. And if this is your first time, please do me a favor, smash on that subscribe button and click on that little bell so you'll be notified of any new content that I post. Now, today I'm working on my 2007 Volvo V50. It's my daily runaround car. I use it for Home Depot runs to pick up DIY materials all the time. Post office, supermarket, etc. I just run around everywhere so I don't have to take the Beamer out of the garage. Now, over time, I've developed a water leak in the rear passenger footwell of the car, and I'm pretty sure what's happening is the drain hose that's connected to the sunroof that comes down the C pillar is probably disconnected somewhere or leaking, and the water is just accumulating in that footwell. So let me go outside and let me show you what I got going on. As you can see, I've got the car out of the driveway so I can get access to the garage. The Beamer here, my son's Mustang, and my Volvo V50. So if you look at the carpeting, I've got water stains. Today it's dry, but the water accumulates when it doesn't drain properly. It's a common issue with the Volvo, the P1 platform. There's a hose that comes from the rear of the sunroof and it comes down this C pillar, and also there's one that connects to the front that comes down the A pillar, and they drain out at the bottom of the vehicle on each side. Sometimes what happens is the hose can become disconnected. I'm hoping that's what's going on in my case. The only way to find out, I've got to drop the entire headliner here and check the hose where it connects up here to the sunroof and then comes down the C pillar. I hope that corrects my situation. So I've got here some of the tools that I'll be using to bring down the headliner and detach all the hardware that's with it. I've got my screw gun, got a ratchet, a couple of Torx sockets, some metric sockets. I've got here some pick tools, and of course you need your plastic trim removal tools. These are very good when you're removing your trim from your vehicle. You don't want to damage or scratch any of the pieces there, right? So you want to use that. So hopefully these are the tools that I'll need and we can get this headliner dropped with no problem. All right, so I'm going to start with the OS bar. For you regular people, grab bar. In the automotive field, we call it the OS bar. Oh shit, let me hang on to something, right? So with the pick tool, I'm just gonna see if I can do this with one hand. Open the little cover there on the little door to open up and see. I've got what appears to be, that's about an 8mm screw in there, and then same thing on this side. Just pull it down with the pick tool, and then the cool thing is you can like push back on this, and it kind of grabs. I lost it there, but if you push back on it, it kind of grabs right there and it keeps that OS bar down, right? So I'll pull this one down, do the same thing there, keep it down, and then, oh shit, no pun intended. What the, yo, I mean, I've got an 8mm on one side and I've got regular standard bolt on this side. Standard, what the, who put this car together? Frankenstein? I don't think this is official Volvo company standards. Yeah, well, this headline has been dropped once before, I bet. I bought the car used. So, all right, let me take these down and drop the OS bar. That's pretty funny. All right, to remove the visor, we want to come over here to these little covers that hide the screws underneath. Oh, that fell out, and looks like it's an 8mm there. And then swing the visor over. Let's get to the other side and pull the same cover down. There we go. I don't want to drop it. And lo and behold, another Franken Volvo find. Listen, I got to investigate and see if this is an actual common practice for Volvo. But I'm really thinking, yeah, this headliner was dropped before. Somebody just mishmashed it together. God, I love this vehicle. Listen, it's got 167,000 miles. It runs like a champ. I love it. I'm not going to let a couple of different screws bother me. It's holding it up. It's working. Moving on. For the visor, just pull on that cable just a little bit so you can pull out the connector right there. Once you pull that out with a little pick tool, you can just push in on this little tab here. See if I can get a better angle so you can see it right there. Just push the little tip of the pick tool in there, and you can just pull that connector right out, and you can release the visor. Now, to remove the overhead lighting, dome light, map light, whichever you want to call it there, it's just pulling it down very gently, evenly, so you don't snap any of the connectors and break any tabs or anything. So I'm going to put the camera down, get my trim piece tools, and just pull it down gently, and I'll show you what it looks like. This was a simple removal here with the trim tool. I just pulled down on the plastic surrounding the map light. If you can see that. I'm sorry for being so close here. Just pull it down with the trim, get my hands under there, and then pull it straight out. It has a connector that snaps into place, is all it is. You just push it right in. It has these clips there also. Just pushes right in. It's very simple to remove. Just get your hands in there and pull straight. We're in the rear compartment now, and I've got a couple of OS bars in the back as well. And I've got this funny looking opening there that I think it may be for, I don't know, maybe a rod, a hanging rod or something. Kind of like what traveling salesmen use when you have a rod and you want to hang your clothes and stuff like that. I'm guessing. I don't know. If anyone has a better answer for me or the correct answer, drop it in the comments below. I'm interested. But in any case, under here, under this little cover that mine is jacked up, is just another screw to remove the headliner. I've got it in the rear as well. And you can see that one is jacked up also. I've only got one that's in good shape, but there's an indicator, airbag. So yes, you want to be careful because there's an airbag curtain that runs along the length of each side of the vehicle. And Volvo is very safety conscious, and they put plenty of airbags all around. So I know I've got a curtain back there, and I've got to be careful when working on it. Now, I should have mentioned this before. Yes, I did disconnect the negative terminal on my battery. I always do that. It's common practice. You should practice that as well. You don't want anything, even if you're working in the engine and it might be fuel related, let's say, and not electrical. You never know. So you want to disconnect the negative terminal so you don't have anything accidentally spray in your face, explode, trigger, whatever. Do that always. So let me continue with this. Let me remove these little covers. Let me drop this headliner and keep going. There's some 10mm in there holding it up, and that's what holds the headliner up. And I think the plastic will just come right off with it. I'll figure it out once I get the whole headliner down. But I took off the trim around the sunroof. I'm going to pull that down, and I think for the most part we are loose. So let's see how that goes. I'm just pulling very easily all along the sides. Off the rear cover back here, I just pulled that one down. It was very dry and brittle. It cracked a bit. So where the rear light is, you can see it was a little cracked right there, and a little piece came off. But that's okay. I'm not worried about it as much. I'll probably just replace that piece. I'm really hoping I can pull the headliner forward and slide it away. You know, there it has a. Okay, I freed it from that. There's one on this side too. There. Hopefully I can pull it down, slide it forward so I don't have to remove this trim piece here. And then I'm good to go. Took the headliner off, pulled it out from the back with the help of my son. Just had to give it a little bit of a bend. But right here is the other hose that goes along the backside and down the C-pillar. To the rear, I can see it is very loose. It's old and weathered. Heat probably stretched it out. You can see a little bit of moisture coming out of there. So I'm going to replace that one. I think that one runs all the way down the C column. I'm going to try and remove that. I just hope I don't hit anything I'm not supposed to. Just disconnected it, and I could tell that there's water in it. So what I'm going to use is my trusty CO2 cartridge air blaster to push out any blockage that may be inside that hose. And what I normally use this for is to blast out my air conditioning condenser lines at home. This is a really good tool to have if you're doing preventative maintenance and you don't want to call a professional and spend a lot of money. This will save you lots of money. I created a video on some preventative maintenance for your air conditioning units. I'll leave the link up above so you can check that out. So yeah, I'm going to try this here and see if that works. And if it doesn't, then I'll just swap out the line. You know, I'll put a new hose.
The next morning.
And I got the headliner out yesterday. And today, what I'm doing is checking all the hoses that go down the A and C pillars. And what I've done is I went to Home Depot and I purchased the 1/2 inch outside, 3/8 inside hose, which is the perfect fit for the original hose that's on there. But I did notice that the connector here, where it connects to the plastic tubing, you see I replaced this one. It was already stretched out and kind of worn, and I was getting a little bit of water, some drops coming out of there. So I figured, let me get this hose and let me start replacing some of them. Now, this one, in fact, the one that goes down the A pillar, this one here, although it has no leaks, I tested it out. And the way that I tested it out is I took my funnel, popped it in there, took some water, ran it through. It did go straight through, and you can see the ground is wet. This is where it comes out from, right down here. So there's no leaking from the hose. However, the hose is very old. It is not brittle, but it just looks like crap. And it does have some kind of sediment or something inside of it. So I'm thinking just replace it and put a fresh hose on both sides. And the one that runs, let's see if I can get a picture, from the rear of the sunroof, and it goes down the C column there. I'm going to give that a pop, but I'm definitely testing all the hoses just to make sure that they don't have any leakage. But as I said, they're pretty cruddy on the inside. And since I got it out, why not replace it? That 20-foot reel of hose there cost me $9 at Home Depot. They had one for 10 feet, which I probably could have got, but I wanted to make sure I didn't end up short. And in case I find any others that I need to replace. So it's always good to get extra. For $9 to replace the hoses, that's not a bad deal. So I'm going to take care of that and then continue trying to find where my leak is definitely coming from. I know here I was getting the leak from the old hose to the connector. I took off the C column trim all along, took the cover to the seatbelt as well. I see that the line goes all the way down this way, and just by tugging on it ever so gently, I could tell this is connected to absolutely nothing. So whatever it may be supposedly connected to, it is not. Let's see if I can. Difficult to see in there. Oh, there it is. Right there, the circle. That's where it lost the connection. Right in there, that's the drain connector where the hose, the end of the hose should connect to. That was completely loose. So I'm going to replace this hose now that I got all this out. Because again, it's not leaking or anything, but because it's been stretched over time, it's expanded. I want a nice tight fit on the nipple there.
What happens if you flick it?
This is very loose. You can see, very loose. It's like no grip whatsoever there. Very, very loose. I'm gonna just replace the hose. I'm sure this is the culprit right here. And I'm gonna go around and do them all. Why not? Since I got it all taken apart, right? I just hope I can get this baby back together. And you know what? There's always extra pieces laying around. So I really hope I don't have that. All right, so I connected the hose to that little drain stem there. It should be nice and secure. I ran it all the way up, following the stock one, up to the nipple.
I have very high nipples.
Where it's nice and tight and secure. And hopefully it doesn't leak at all. I think this was the main culprit. Hose was not connected and it was draining out into the well there. You can see I have carpet stains. Hopefully I can get that out with shampoo. But, all right, moving on. So one of the perks about living in the Sunshine State is plenty of sunshine, of course. But with that, we get rain. And especially during hurricane season, June to November, it rains a lot. Not all day sometimes, you know, it'll rain, it'll stop. It's beautiful this afternoon, and then now look at it. So it's dark and it's raining and it's thundering. So I had to hurry up and get everything back together as quickly as possible once I saw the clouds rolling in and once I heard the thunder in the distance. Put everything back together. Everything seemed fine. I ran my test through all the lines. They seem to be draining properly. So that's it for the Volvo. That's taken care of. Stay tuned for other videos that I'm going to be putting up for the Beamer, especially one where I do a full walk around showing all the modifications that I've done to the exterior, interior, and to the engine bay. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, smash that subscribe as well so you don't miss out on any future videos that I've got coming. Thanks again for watching.